My name is Othello Bonacci. I'm a director, DP, and photographer based in Washington, D.C., and I had the amazing opportunity to work on 38 at the Garden, which is a new doc on HBO, as the DP. And I want to share the camera test in which we used to get the look of the film. It was an amazing experience. The film is directed by Frank Chi, produced by Samir Hernandez and Trayvon Free, who did Two Distant Strangers, which is on Netflix. And in preparation for this film, we met up on Zoom just to kind of go over the overall look. And talking to Frank, he wanted this direct-to-camera look. To do that, we use an iDirect, but I wanted to share the camera test and how camera tests can be utilized in your productions and in your workflow just to figure out what it is that you want to shoot on, the lenses you want to use, the filters you want to use, and how it interacts with the scene that you're creating. So what is a camera test? The purpose of camera tests are to put the camera systems through its paces to expose the strengths and weaknesses, thus creating a library of footage that will serve as a reference for your production. For our production, this was vital because of the look and the feel we wanted. We decided to go with the red, and we went with the Red Gemini and Red Komodo for budgetary reasons, but also for the quality and the flexibility of Red Raw. Going through the different lenses and filters and cameras, it helped me kind of decide on if there was a major drawback using a different system in this specific scenario, or if it was something that I myself may have overlooked by choosing one camera over the other. So you might ask yourself, why would you even do a screen test, right? And I got this off of Movie Maker. The answer is that you're not testing for the acquisition medium. You're testing for the interrelationship of three separate elements: imaging device, subject, and your targeted look. Knowing your image device is only a small part of being able to achieve your desired look. You need to understand how your source image will interact with your subject in trying to achieve said look. We're trying to figure out how the lighting interacts with the subject in the environment and how the lenses render said environment. In some cases, you might test film, you might test an ARRI Alexa, you might test a Blackmagic, you might test a Red. I tested the cameras I own. So I own the Red Monstro, Red Gemini, Red Komodo, and the Fx6. And those cameras were the baseline for the test. And then for lenses, I use the Zeiss CP2s, the Sigma Cines, and I want to say the Do lenses at the time. In the end, we ended up with the Gemini, the Komodo, and the Sigmas with, I want to say, Hollywood Blackmagic. Yes, Hollywood Blackmagic. The benefits are you're more comfortable on set, you have some sort of plan, and you know your camera's limits, right? You know what situations you've already put your cameras in before you went out and shot the actual film. So you know that, you're gonna be in the right place. So let's get into it. We're in iPad land. So I'm gonna go over the general lighting setup for the doc and how we went about doing it. So we have this image here. This is from the lens test that you'll see in a second. In the background, we have this light here, right? And this is a cookie in the background. We have a 120T, and it's just creating, a pattern to kind of separate him from the background. This is my boy Brian. We also have a floppy. I think I have a 3x3, and it goes over him like this and comes down here, but it's like, it's somewhere up here. And then there's an 8x8 frame with a 300D Mark II. So with that, that is the baseline for the film. That is the baseline of what we were doing. That is the overall look. We wanted a hard light shooting through a soft source, so it kind of gave him this punch here, and then it gave him this punch here, and then it kind of like slowly fades off, but you still see, you know, hard light here, and then you gotta see that loop here. Yep. So let's get into. We start off with the Monstro and the Sigma. To me, this was our ideal setup. This is what we were going with. I tested out at 7K to see if it made sense. I thought 7K might be better because we're thinking about doing these 2-hour interviews in some cases, and it just did not make sense to shoot 8K for hours. We'd run out of memory. This is the Hollywood Blackmagic. I really love the look of the Monstro and the Sigma. It really, really has like a really nice, beautiful feel to it, especially with the Hollywood Blackmagic. And then with the Zeiss, I like this too. People kind of hated on the CP2s, but I like them. Like, Zeiss just makes good lenses. And then with the Hollywood Blackmagic, it kind of softened it up a little bit. We're still on Monstro and Zeiss. Yeah. All right, so this is what we ended up going with for the main camera. Now the Gemini is a little bit greener. You'll see that light jumping green, but like in the end, we really, really enjoyed it. We really liked the look. So for the basketball interviews, right, our initial idea was to shoot some of these like Spike Lee style interviews in which we would shift the camera perspective in a completely different way. We ended up shooting some of those, but we used the Laowa 12mm. And if you watch the film, you'll see it. The Komodo with the Sigma was our B camera, and we ended up using the 1/8 Hollywood Blackmagic. And it turned out pretty good. I liked it. The film is out and it looks amazing. The story is even better. Even I still watch it and I'm at awe. And I'm really glad that we spent the time to go through this and pick out the look before we started shooting, so we didn't just run into a doc and say, let's shoot on this, let's shoot on that. We actually took our time, prepped cameras, spent a day in the studio, got a crew, shot it, tested it, and in the end, it was the ideal situation and the ideal 2 cameras out of what I already owned to shoot with. So, moral of this story, test before you shoot and your shoots will go better. Peace.